Welcome to the Boundless Bridge, your new virtual life recovery channel. A classroom, a gathering space to learn everything you can about addiction recovery, freedom from substance use disorder, and life improvement in general. If you want to better your chances of maintaining sobriety and stability, improving productivity and life success, and gaining peace of mind through it all, then this is the right place. We focus on everything from relapse prevention and mental and emotional well-being to adopting practical life skills for success. Some people aim to just get clean, and sadly, if that's the end goal, then those are ironically the ones that are more prone to relapse. But others like myself understand that there's a lot more to recovery. Turning bad habits into healthy ones, experiencing true life transformation, and reaching our fullest potential. On this channel, we're mainly going to address two critical issues of recovery. A couple of aspects that, if we don't recognize, it'll make us more likely to relapse and never really find that type of productivity and success that we hoped for. First is the issue of our recovery approach in general. We either obstruct ourselves or we're hindered by the system we adopt by limiting the types of methods and principles that could aid in our recovery. If you've been in recovery for some time or you're in early recovery now, you're probably in one of two camps. The first is generally considered the more faith-based approach or spiritually inclined. Some of these are AA, NA, 12 steps, and Celebrate Recovery, or maybe religious or spiritually based. There's definitely been success for a lot of people using these programs, but like every approach, there's also been many more failed attempts. Perhaps you're in the other camp, which is often called the evidence-based approach, scientific method or medically grounded with some counseling or medication. Some of these include cognitive behavioral therapy, EBP, MAT, SMART, and of course addiction counseling. Of course, there's been studies showing that some of these methods are proven to be effective to treat different forms of addiction. The problem is you'll typically find that on the one side, they're reluctant to utilize any scientific or medical methods and reject any concepts from psychology. Some even forbid any types of medication so that you can achieve total abstinence. And of course, on the scientific side, many of those reject anything related to faith or spirituality because the principles aren't backed up by empirical data, even though many have found a faith-based approach or some basis of spirituality to be really effective. Ironically, many advocates on both sides will admit that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to recovery. That means what may work for you might not work for me. Unfortunately, the only person that's going to know what works best for you is you. And sadly, most of the time we won't know what works best until we've implemented different principles and tried different methods. Hopefully by then it's not too late before we relapse or realize we've been struggling when we could have benefited from something else. And so through this channel, we're going to present a number of principles and methods that have been proven to be effective. That's not to say that we shouldn't stick with one general approach. Obviously, some of these programs know what works for a lot of people, and having a solid plan for recovery, no matter what it is definitely going to put you in the right direction. But because of bias and rigid presuppositions, many of us lose out on what it's going to take to actually stay clean and to really experience life transformation.